My passion was, and still is, but especially then, my passion was the investment world, all over the world. It didn't matter. We didn't know about countries. We didn't have all these labels about value and blah, blah. We just found things that were cheap and bought them, or found things that were expensive and sold them short. I loved it. So if you can find your passion, whatever it is, that's what you should do. Ignore your friends. If you say, I want to be a gardener, David, everybody's going to laugh at you. Your parents are going to say, David, we didn't educate you to become a gardener. Your friends are going to say, you hear about David? He's a gardener. Your teachers are going to say, David, we educated you. You do it. You go and become a gardener, because if you love it, you'll never go to work. You'll wake up every day and have fun. You'll be the happiest person around. It won't matter if you're successful because you're happy, but you will be successful, because those are the people who are the most successful. And someday when you have a chain of garden shops listed on the New York Stock Exchange, your parents are going to call you and say, oh, David, you remember how we used to give you seeds when you were a child? We knew you would be a good gardener someday. The professors are going to call and say, David, we knew it. We helped you. Give us a building. Your friends are going to call and say, David, I see you're on the New York Stock Exchange. I need a job. All those people who laughed at you and ridiculed you before. So, David, find your passion, whatever it is, and then do it to these. That's all I did in those days. I loved it so much. I just loved it so much. I couldn't wait. I didn't like it when the market closed, because it was harder to do research.
How did you educate yourself? You didn't go to business school. You graduated from college, and then you went straight into Wall Street working as a research assistant, and you were thrown right into the fire. How did you educate yourself about finance, investing, and picking companies?
At first, I thought everybody was smarter than me because they were older and been around more experience than me. Then I found that most of them made many mistakes too. I should stop listening to them. And I started realizing that if I could find things, that's when I started realizing a key for me was to find something cheap that was changing. And I realized about the numbers and the balance sheets. I told you before, I realized that I was once working on reading an annual report and doing a spreadsheet. An experienced guy walked in the room and said, people still do that? Nobody looks at spreadsheets anymore. Laughed at me. Well, I was embarrassed, but I kept doing it. That was what I loved, and by experience, I learned that if I understood the numbers and I understood what was going on, I was to be ahead of other people. It wasn't easy, but it turned out I loved it, and I loved to track down everything. But it was purely by experience and learning that the more I knew about the companies, the competition, the numbers, the more likely I was to be successful, because I realized that nobody else was doing it. And David, after you have a few successes doing it your way, then you realize, hey, I'm onto something. But it wasn't because I realized I was on it. I realized because I loved it so much. I love tracking down. It's like going to work every day. You were in a three-dimensional puzzle, and every day they were changing the parts all day long, all week long. It is a fabulous way to spend your time, because it's a three-dimensional puzzle that is always changing. My gosh, it's fun.
Jim, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. You've been such an inspiration to many generations of people interested in finance and investors alike. So thank you again. I appreciate it.
Well, David, I want to emphasize again, it's not easy. This is not an easy way to make money or to even make a living. So it takes a lot of work, like most things in life.